Hey folks, today we are talking about the Challenge Getaway XP, the reinforced, extra tough and durable version of Challenge's Getaway, sort of high speed, primarily dry weather, as you'll see from the tread pattern, gravel bike tyre. Now, having said that, I have been running it mostly through winter, and on the plus side, although it looks like there's almost no tread on here, it's actually got a reasonably soft tyre compound on it. So it's actually not been as bad as I thought. Certainly in sloppy conditions, it cuts through deep enough that you get some traction with it. And because it's got that double reinforced Corazza Armour Gold, is what Challenge call it, as opposed to Corazza Armour Silver, it's got an extra layer of reinforcing fabric right through the carcass, as well as a punch protection layer underneath the top. So it's quite a sturdy tyre, so I have been able to run it at like 25 psi for a bit more conforming grip. And it's a handmade tubeless ready tyre as well. Quite rare that you still get tyres handmade, but has its pluses in terms of ride feel, or at least it should do. I mean, to be fair, because you're running because it's quite a large volume tyre, actually I didn't check the volume. What is the actual volume? It certainly looks like it's fat enough on these rims. Should have done this beforehand, sorry, apologise, bear with. Yeah, so this comes up bang on 45mm, so you are getting your full advertised width on it. But as you can see, there's no tread disturbing that. In fact, those side knobs are minimal. So again, not much mechanical grip, but quite good compound grip. And where it wins is the fact that it's very, very predictable on the road. So you might be, I've been running it on the Stig. So very, very glad of the sort of more progressive geometry on that. It's kept me upright when this has started slipping about off-road. But also it means you can properly lean it in hard on the road. I've said the surprising thing is it's not super quick on the road, despite that very minimal tread. Because of the compound, it's not crazy quick, certainly this more heavily armoured version. Also, with the reinforcing in it, it's relatively heavy at 620 grams for this 45. The 40 is nearer 500 grams. So obviously, the bigger the tyre and the more reinforcement in it means this is quite a weighty tyre. But I've had no issues with punctures. I've had no issues with tread delamination, which is something I've had on old Challenge road tyres in the past. And I've been battering around on sort of rocky, quite clumsy rides, taking it out trail building, that kind of thing. So being on primarily mountain bike trails on it, and it hasn't been upset at all. It does occasionally lose pressure. It just gradually kind of seems to, although there's no visible signs of sealant coming out of it, it can lose pressure over time. And the other thing I would say is it's an absolute nightmare to fit unless you know the knack. Took me almost an hour to get the tyre on first time. Second one was a bit quicker because I can't remember what I was doing. But I've been chatting to the guys at Challenge, including Andy, the rep over here, and he's told me there's a special technique because it comes flat packed. I mean, you can see this is the Gravine tyre, which is what I'm going to be putting on instead. But you can see, whereas most tyres hold a form, because of the way these are what they call a handmade tubular construction, it's completely flat, which means it's not that keen to hold its shape to go onto a rim. So hopefully we'll find out, because this is what's going on next, this tyre, because obviously this is the new tyre out from Challenge. It's got a much more sort of winter suitable tread. It's based on a lot of their cyclocross tyres, whereas this is very much kind of your Strada Bianchi fast road tyre really. So I'm going to time lapse this, and hopefully using the new technique, basically you pop the bead off to both sides and then kind of gather it in from there rather than fitting one bead and then fitting the other from the outside. That should go on a lot quicker. So make sure you watch that video for a confirmation as to whether these are an absolute nightmare to get on and off, or if you've got the right technique, they're a bit easier. But yeah, for now, Getaway XP, relatively expensive. I think it's knocking on, it's over 60 quid. But it's handmade construction, which is, if you like that kind of artisan feel, it will be your bag. And also, it seems pretty tough and durable. as long as you keep up with the tubeless pressures and you are getting a genuine high volume tyre with a good grip, I would say, for dry conditions, loose conditions, but as you can see, not much mechanical grip. And again, a good tyre if you're going on and off road a lot because of that predictable cornering nature, which is kind of the byproduct of having essentially no tread. Can't really speak to tread life on it. I haven't done a huge amount of dry miles on it. It's mostly been wet. So I guess you just have to ask around on forums to see how that wears. But I should get a better idea on the larger tread knobs of the Gravine when I get that fitted on there. So yeah, bit of an outsider in terms of tyre choice. There's a lot of tyres now competing for your attention on the gravel circuit. But obviously, Challenger are a massive name in cyclocross, one of the top brands in cyclocross, with their own heritage and their own distinctive way of doing things. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but yeah, 260 TPI. So it's a triple ply in the same way, with an overlap in the same way as most tyres are made, but a very, very high thread count, which means less rubber in there, which again should give it that nice supple feel, although that is lost a little bit on this heavily reinforced version. Hopefully you get more of a proper silky vibe on that Gravine. But make sure you watch that. If you really like what I'm doing here on the channel, then please consider supporting me on Patreon, where my monthly subscribers get exclusive early and extended videos as a thank you. And that really does help the channel be sustainable in the long term. Oh, and all the videos on Patreon are ad-free if you don't like interruptions. But otherwise, click for notifications, click for subscriptions, give this a thumbs up like if you've enjoyed it, because that really helps it get shared on YouTube. And thank you very much to my regular channel sponsors, who I'll be listing at the end of the video. But for now, I've been Guy Kesterman on Guy Kest TV, talking about the Challenge Getaway XP tyre. Handmade, reinforced, seemingly very durable once you've fought to get them on. And yeah, just an interesting alternative option for people who want a genuine high volume, handmade approach to their gravel tyres.